seriously, that's like accountable. The other day I was discussing this with myself. Whether also our team members which accountable and more whether you're in myself. Minor repeater this whole place is infested with motherfucking nerds, man. They're predatorless and keeps acting as if it's still the old ways, or as if the before ways, or whether aging ways, or whether before. And by doing that, it's actually doing something that's good. And they remotely no sense to motherfucking speak to you. Start to check your numbers, you freaks. You're gonna get microwaved by someone, stupid freaks, stupendous freaks, and they become other stupendous freaks. As if there is interactive, it's waiting for a predator. As if it's sort of waiting for period. Idle, not sitting waiting, because idle sort of can always be considered as waiting, not so much as waiting. Both. One being Nazism waiting. Probable, so it could be from whether it's probable, whether it's probable, what the suitable, whether it's probable, what the could be. As when it does these crimes, therefore it's going to be naturally stopped. Essentially, it's ludicrous, right? Doesn't really have to explain it with a whole essay. But although these pseudoists will start asking for such, especially after I had suggested, kind of was recently suggested. We ain't got a single motherfucking human left, man. What the fuck are they living for? And when somebody is producing more artwork than they did and stating this, then that's something. And when somebody not really born from Europe and not a usual European comes over to Europe and tells you guys about this, then that's a problem with Europe. We ain't got no Europeans left. All of these are your enemies. They're utterly disgustingly freaking. They're scums. We need to have their cerebral chopped open right onto live television so we find what kind of dumb beetle is hijacking its entire it's operating on the hijack corpse. Humanoids are disgusting. They don't back each other up. All it does is factual churn. A lot of the duties are these Nazism telling yourself they're smart. None of that fucking makes sense even. It doesn't even make evil sense. It doesn't make Nazism sense. It sort of does make a little bit Nazism sense in some of the instances, and whether make some of it, or whether does make it of, or whether make it of, or whether it of. A lot of the stuff are trickery spell. They don't care about social pollution. If Hitler is dead, who cares? But they're still going to menace around, and there's such huge numbers. How did these entities even get through? Then what's all these nerds doing? See, a lot is come from the nerds. They hedge lodge. They block a lot of our guys from ascending to these positions. A lot of our guys search on video games to find a platform so they can rise. It turns out I give to the publics. And this whole thing is actually Chuck E. Cheese's economy for us. More often we have to struggle to get something. It's Chuck E. Cheese for them. They get a free ride. They suck like crap. There's such mediocre levels. Absurd gluten that's due to out of his violence mostly, and yet can able to perform. They can crash 2 cars, still get to pick up a new one. And they're not even paying any social upkeep. Don't care about nobody, so that saves a lot of calories. Defects upon defects, and they all ends up staying around here. And what the fuck is going on, man? And we have the president making these speeches about the society. Motherfucker, you don't know shit probably yet. Or probably you don't know nothing too much yet. Humans and the ego gotta put it down first, and reasoning can be considered as a change of subject there. I played Blood Redden's trophies to come here and tell us I have to do this reporting again soon. And that's no longer 8th century, it's no longer 15th century either. It's so much of these, whether 16th or 17th. So much of these, by the way, calendar time and calendar should probably start and count backward soon. Well, since the 1960s, 1970s, that's where the new generation, these college and ties extremism really came, and a large amount came from monogamy, and that's when the publicism really kicking and the upper class faltered. And then all these CEO graduates, no cultural roots, tons of people, man, humans are disgusting, they have no principle, and they lie and lie. They lie to themselves and lie to others. It's not even here, not even doing some kind of evil agenda. It's supposed to be evil agenda, so much prettier. this world meets a alliance, whether it meets more evil in fact. So it sort of naturally budgets to, and whether counters towards all that Nazism out there. And once I put the camera down, it can be a gesture mentioned as the motion of that. Therefore, it becomes the, whether therefore as if there's nothing more problems to mention. But I had over more than 2,000. And the equivalent almost to 9,000, or whether 4,000, 8,000, and 9,000, whether equivalent more 4,000, and whether other numbers and whether numbers around that range, numbers of videos on this medium. And some of them not uploaded entirely, and whether some of which not, and some more to be uploaded too. And whether reason they're completing it, reason there before whether reason earlier that could be consumed. It's like a lot of the enfeeblements who, whether the enfeeblement I'm supposed to mention for each instance, who is somebody going to do that? I don't have anybody paying me for this. Why would somebody without paying as much as even on how there's this vigilance citizen's rights to the cause? Getting paid gives a certain deno. It's actually being recognized as overall better. A lot is judged. How can somebody be insulted with their work and he still be completely the same? Not that the performance wouldn't be as great or be majorly different, because there's major difference change, major differences, or whether major different, whether major different, whether different, or whether major different. And amongst other was adjective, whether amongst adjective, other what adjective was there, whether adjectives, or whether amongst other was there. Of recent and minor repeat there, and probable to be considered. Certainly on comparative, tons of these bigots are getting government offer from the government, not from a stranger, not from an organization like a subsidiary, or whether associated with the government, or probably is like a government, but from the government. We are in a governmental state where I'm probably actually the most alpha in wisdom and direction right now. That's how bad it got. It's a zombie apocalypse, and much worse. If it was a zombie apocalypse, there will be directly rallies already, and folks telling you, you assemble here. Okay, when you drive, do you have a G1 license? Are you familiar with an armored jeep? Are you okay with driving this tank? Here's the size of the tank. You can rest on the radio signal, see which is on the back on the second row, and some of the tanks you're going to face that direction. And if you want to gesture, maybe no group teamwork right now. It's just this eerie cult. And the very few pockets are filled with persons that have been contaminated by universities. By modern year, in particular, it's a bit hard work overall, because in order for something to change, universities showed to most human, our guys, a lot of citizens instead of instead we think bracket whether a lot of our a lot of citizens, whether a lot of our guys, whether a lot of citizens of whether a lot of citizens of they really are powerless if there's a shift, when the political arena, whether the political direction is a certain way and they're sort of not entirely fitting with it or not entirely with. As much as it seems like it's streets and avenues, it's not the same thing as before. Suppose a hut, you can you can run across. You can get to somewhere. Now it's all these blocks, and these in a way are iron, and you have to follow with the algorithms, or you're going to die by these algorithms. And so many of our actual much more general persons died and become homeless, or whether they had run into such hectic troubles. And a lot of the president, they smile and talk about and we hang out with all these at minimum losers and utter deprived freaks, anti-Hitlers too. Right? Reason, however, is stacked or whatever organized, the reason of the different titles there can be subject, can be elemented, can be subject to, there can be various distribution of them, whether of their reason a minor remark, whether of two moderate, or whether moderate remark, also whether moderate remark, or whether, and also within bracket mark, whether bracket marks of moderate remark to probable to also to be from whether to probable to